Ready?
I'm ready.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Michi G. Welcome back to the podcast. I said that backwards, actually. Welcome back to I Lost My Podcast. I'm your girl, Michi G. Of course, you know I'm author of the book, I Lost My Mom, Memoir of a Motherless Daughter, available on Amazon everywhere. And I have my co-host.
You got none other than your boy, the Fat Fitness model, Jose Cortez,
Okay.
Husky Hefe himself,
Yeah.
the swag daddy.
Yeah, okay.
But nah, man, welcome back to the podcast, you know?
Yeah, we haven't seen you guys in forever.
It's
We're
been
back.
a minute. It's been a minute, but
We're
we back.
Woo
So,
woo.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep it rolling. So
I feel like we got a good episode in store for you guys.
do. So let's do the mental health check-in, but also like an update. Y'all haven't seen us in a while. We've been just, the basics, taking care of self, taking care of home, taking care of what we need to take care of. But as far as mental health, we'll start with Husky Hefe himself. How are you feeling today? How have you been feeling this week?
You see the swag, check the swag. So I'm
Okay.
feeling real good, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. It's been a beautiful week so far. So I feel good.
1 to 10, how you feeling?
1 to 10, I'm gonna say a 7.
Today.
I think I did eat something that kind of messed up my tummy.
Okay.
Yes, but nevertheless, I'm about to get that right.
Got
I
the.
will tell y'all what I'm drinking, but no free publicity because
Okay, we don't want no problems.
I don't want no problems, you know.
Something to help your tummy.
But it's typically what black people use to cure tummies. Zero sugar. I won't tell you the brand name because, like I said, no free publicity, unless of course they want to sponsor us or something like that.
Okay.
But with that being said,
Okay.
yeah, I said a 7. I'm about at a solid 7.
Okay.
How about yourself?
I will say for the week and for the day, I'm a 10. I feel amazing. My health is way better than when y'all last saw me. I feel like I'm glowing more. I just feel happier. So, mental health today, I know every day isn't going to be a 10, but today it's a 10, and I'm happy about it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Cool.
And like I said, my bad. I also just got off tour, so y'all bear with me.
What was you on tour for?
I was doing a lot of poetry,
Okay.
rapping, singing,
Okay.
acting. So
A
y'all
lot
be
of
watching
tours.
out, man. Coming to a theater near you, man. A lot of things, a lot of great things coming on. Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, we're kind of going to do the podcast kind of similar. We took out some things, we put in some things. So, next, we're just going to get into mindful breathing and stretching. So, kind of like our last segment, breathe, stretch, shake, but we're really going to take time to deeply breathe because, some of these topics are going to be pretty heavy. Some of them are going to be a little lighthearted. This one's a little lighthearted, but still, we want to make sure we're taking our time with breathing and making sure we're stretched out so you as the listeners can really hear us and feel good while you're listening to us, and we can feel good while we're talking to y'all. So, ready, everybody? Close your eyes, take a deep breath, breathe in slow, and breathe out slow. Breathe in slow. Breathe out slow.
I ain't trying to blow in the microphone, but
I am ASMR, okay? Period.
yeah.
Should we do one more time? Breathe in slow. Breathe out slow. Unwind those shoulders. Loosen them up. Stretch up high. Stretch down low, however you can.
We so close together, so
Right, I was trying to fill you up a little bit. Just make sure you stretched out.
stretch it out, stretch it out.
All right. And with that being said, if you feeling good and we feeling good, let's get into this
Then we
topic
aren't
today.
good. I'm gonna take off these shades, man.
Okay, too cool for school. But while you taking them off, you want to get into our topic?
So, nevertheless, I just did tell y'all that my hat might move multiple times.
Ray J challenge. Okay.
But I just told y'all like we are doing I just came off tour. Sorry. A lot of music, a lot of things like that. But this episode is never, nonetheless, it's about music and
My
how
favorite
music
topic.
helps you heal, affects your healing process. All of those things kind of encompassed in this episode. So we're going to jump into it.
And we're gonna talk about so healing through music. I can start off and say that one of my favorite ways to heal or to cope with grief and just not feeling my best is to cope through listening to music. Music for me, I don't know. I always say I've had like a Precious, like if y'all watch the movie Precious, how she would like daydream and she would be like she would imagine or envision her perfect life. I feel like music has always helped me do that.
Gotcha.
Like I would listen to certain songs or certain '90s music or girl groups, and maybe it's because I'm supposed to be like a director or something, but I would always envision myself in a music video, in the music video of whatever song I'm listening to, or just however I would have a music video. I don't know. It just did something to me, and I don't know. It just helped me to better put my focus on something else other than whatever I may have been going through at the moment. I think I'm not as talented technically, more
Right.
from a writing standpoint, not singing or nothing. But I don't know. There's a certain tie I have to music that allows me to.
So I think what'll help people understand us a little bit better before we deep dive into this thing. What type of music listener are you? Are you more of a, as far as it pertains to, are you a full album listener? Are you a
Oh,
song picker, playlist maker? Like,
so I'm gonna say genre first. I'm all over the place. Like I can go from like no, not Billie Holiday. Who
you picking genre? I'm saying though,
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to
okay?
that. But like I can go from rap to hip hop to like Frank Sinatra, country to like alternative. Like I'm all over the place in terms of my musical taste. But in terms of the type of listening style, it's funny because I used to be an album like because my I learned this from my brother. He would like anytime we would get a new CD or something, he would put it on start to finish. Back when you could go buy CDs, you just let it ride and
Right.
get a feel for the whole album. But now that you just have so many choices, I'm like, I'm listening to like the first 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, I don't like it. Or I don't, or not that I don't like it, but the beat doesn't resonate with me, the intro or something, I'm on to the next. And it's just about what captures me in the first 5 to 10 minutes, if that makes sense.
So are you saying, or just to sum it up, you're saying right now, as of who you are right now, you're more of a song specific type person.
Yeah.
So
It depends.
so you're more of a playlist maker.
Yeah. I do have my certain favorites. Like I have favorite artists, but if I have favorite songs, I'm like, okay, I just want to listen to these songs. I don't want to. Yeah.
So I guess I gotta pose this question then.
Okay.
So
Talk to me. Talk to me.
excuse me. So when you say you're more of a song specific playlist type maker,
Dang, excuse me. Mm-hmm.
is it, let's say you're going through something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is your playlist going to be, are you making your playlist just to keep beating down the same thing, or like, let's say you want to feel sad, so you like, oh, I know this song put me in my feelings. Are you more feelings, more
See,
feelings,
here's the
or you're
thing.
not?
I don't necessarily have a playlist for like in my feels. I have more of like if I feel like I'm agitated or anxiety's up, I might make a self care playlist of I randomly came across these songs I like. Okay, that's self care. But if I'm down, I'm just listening to nostalgic stuff or stuff that I'm like, okay, this resonated with me.
Gotcha.
Um, but but yeah, so that's me and my playlist. What about you?
So
You an
I'm
album
gonna
person? You like an album person?
um
I gotcha.
I'm going to be honest. In my more recent years, discovery of like Apple Music and different things of that nature, I've become more of an album person.
Okay. So you can sit and listen to an album from start to finish.
I can sit and listen to an album from start to finish.
Okay.
Now, not every album is a excuse me. Not every album is a no skip. That's a whole different.
Yeah,
That's a whole different
conversation.
conversation.
For another time.
But I can't sit and listen to an album from start to skip. So I'm not one of those now. I'm not one of those. How can I put it? What I been? No, it ain't been me. I do not like when artists drop singles. It won't get a listen unless it's on a
For you,
project.
yeah.
It won't get a listen from me. It
Okay.
really won't get a listen unless I just happen to be on a day or a wave where I'm just like listening to any and everything and just letting Apple Music suggest this and that. So that's how I kind of discovered Smino because I was
Okay.
on that kick on Spotify and I was just letting it go and it was suggesting and then like who is this cat?
Lock it in with a new artist. Yeah.
So yeah, but to sum it up, I'm not a single type person or something. I'm more of an album. Unless I'm really trying to feel like, unless sometimes I have these human jukebox moments where it's like something just comes to mind and I'm like, oh, I want to hear that song now. That's the only way. But other than that, I'm gonna listen to an album.
For sure. So it's safe to say you're an album listener and appreciator, and I'm more of a single person.
Now,
like
the-
something that catches my attention.
The history behind this,
It's weird because we swap,
yeah, because initially I was a songer.
and now I used to be like an album person.
But like
I
she
had my CD
stated,
player.
like she stated, her brother kind of was like had her on the whole, we got to listen to this front to back because we
Yeah.
don't know what's next. Really,
And that's the time when you used to have to. Well, if you're in Nashville, you know about SoundStream back in the day on Tuesday when albums used
Yeah.
to drop on Tuesdays. So we
Yeah.
had to drive out there.
I was out there.
No, boy, bye. But we would spend the whole ride home just listening to the album front to back. So, but now that everything is so like at demand, it's like it's no need to. Where I'm driving to, I just know so people put out so much music. We're flooded with music, so it's like I
So-
just know what I like and I won't listen.
So with my history, it was more so I got an MP3 player. And once I got my MP3 player, I was so intrigued with technology. No one knows me like
Dang, we old.
the computer in my room. So, but nevertheless,
crazy.
this computer, of course, it had things like LimeWire. So, of course, I
Taking it
wanted
back.
to listen to albums, but my MP3 player was so limited. So I'd be like, nah, I'm just gonna pick out my favorite songs because I was walking home from the bus stop and stuff like that. So I'm like, I just gotta hear my hypeness. I gotta hear my
turn up a
my
little bit.
vibes. Like I remember one of my favorite songs, like, look at all these roaches around me every day.
That's so random. Why was that?
Need
strong?
something
Why
strong
was that
to
even
make
so
them go. I used to like little quirk. I used to like Weird Al Yankovic, like all the
feel
little
that.
different
That's
songs
me
they
too.
used to
Yes.
like
Shout out
play
to
on.
Weird Al.
But yeah, so now that I'm able to listen to the albums, and I never had nobody to guide me with music. Me and my cousin Corio, man, look, me and Cuz, we used to be listening to country music. Like
Okay.
we 7 years old, just in
Just
the,
like, what is this?
what is this? We just changing the radio stations and just like we'll bump it. Like
Yeah.
we was different like that. I don't like to use the term weird. Weird is a bad term to use, but we were
It
different.
was different. Yeah.
And but nevertheless, I just wanted my songs on my MP3. But now that I'm able to listen to the albums, and like I said, I had no guidance. Now I'm like formulating like, oh, this is this, and I have a good ear for samples. I'll be like, oh, I heard this sample and so and so
You
so.
better than that. Now I'm good for like samples in terms of like voices. I'm like, okay, or this person sung background on this. Like
Yeah.
I got the ear for that. But he's really good at like, oh, I remember I heard this song. This
And
is
like
simple.
certain beats and stuff like that. But like your pops, like he had a lot of
Yeah.
records
My
and
dad had so much. I don't even know what if he actually listened to it. I grew up with the Madonna. He had Madonna CD, Nirvana, and having a CD player back then. We didn't have music on demand. I just was like, I'm gonna just play whatever CDs we got downstairs, and that's how I really discovered a lot of the
I really
old
started
school stuff.
like on that Madonna type rock rim. I really started diving into that in high school, like VH1 Jumpstart and things of that nature.
Ah, nostalgia.
But
Our point is though,
Oh,
that's our
sorry,
musical
guys.
history. Our point is music is a good way to cope
Yes.
and heal through not just grief but whatever you're going through in life. And I think for me, even though I use music to take me to another world and imagine myself, I don't know, in music videos or just in scenarios or whatever, I think that sitting and really thinking about this topic, I love music because there are artists now that are more vulnerable and they're actually going through things themselves and they cope the music from the other side. So they write about their pains and different things that they go through. And so that helps. Sometimes there's artists that I'm like, oh my God, like I felt that.
Mm-hmm.
I went through the same thing. Oh my God. And it's like it's comforting to know like I'm not the only one feeling this way. So when you find those artists, you gotta hold on to them. You gotta keep them in the playlist rotation, rotate their albums, support them. Cause just like this podcast, like we're growing with y'all, a lot of artists are growing with, you know.
So
their
I
audience.
I guess if I could, can you say, or would you agree that you're more of a present day artist that's kind of going through the same ordeals, or are you an old schooler?
I think I'm more present day. I
Okay.
think though I love old school music, that comes to my mind. I can't think of an artist back in the day that was going through other than love stuff that likes going through, hey, I lost my mom, I lost somebody close to me. That I know of now. It probably is. They just disguised it well in their art. But today, I feel like today's artists do better with being vulnerable and saying, hey, I lost this person. This is how it made me feel. But
I
in an
think
artistic way.
yeah, they're more. Whoa.
There's space created for them to be more
Yeah,
vulnerable
they're more.
directly.
Yeah, they're more direct. That's
Yeah.
the word. They're more.
Yeah.
Artists today are more direct versus, like we said, back in the day, you had artists where certain things, parents' culture probably didn't want you talking about this or saying much of anything, so they had to disguise it, and they let you know tidbits. Like I know once across 110th Street, like you know the message in that is just saying like, uh, string house 110th Street.
I think I do know this.
But it's by Bobby Womack.
Okay.
But nevertheless, like he was saying, it was like pimps and hustlers getting down across. It got in where it fit in.
But he made it in a way that it didn't sound like that. It sounded artistic. Right?
Yeah.
It sounded different than the message.
Yeah, you had to really kind of pay
Listen
attention.
to
But
the lyrics.
I guess back then our folks would see more of that pimpish stuff. Like across 110th Street, if we played it for a younger crowd today, they'll be like, huh?
Nah,
Though they
get
can
it.
interpret, they like, I mean,
It
this
don't
don't go
resonate.
on. But back then, it was what it was.
I feel like back then, though, also, we're going to get to more of the point, I promise. But I feel like back then, they were going through so much that you kind of, it's like music was their feel-good moment. You know what I'm saying? It's not like today where we have all this space to speak how we feel and if we don't like something to protest something. Like they really were going through stuff, not on social media, in real life. So it's like, let's write about it, but let's disguise it in like a way that feels like upbeat and happy and like, because there's a lot of songs that I'm like, that's what this song meant.
I know a lot of people may be like, why he choose to say that song? But like back in the day, I sat home with moms and she told me some of the stories that like, we was just at home not too long ago and she told you the stories like some friends out of the, projects, the ghetto was basically ended up working on the street as sex workers and stuff, but it was because they was seeing more that type,
Lifestyle.
you know what I'm saying, pimping, player
lifestyle,
type, you know what I'm saying, lifestyle. But like right now, people are more direct.
Yeah.
You ain't really got to search, but it does kind of resonate with us.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of singers sing about their mental health, and
Yes.
like we say, man, like shoot, back in the day you couldn't say nothing about mental health because probably
Like,
they
what
looking
was
at
that?
you
That
like
was foreign.
mental health, like
We don't
who are
be
you?
vulnerable about stuff like that. I feel like back then they had to protect themselves in a different way, so it wasn't no space for them to, But so with that being said, we want to hopefully some of these artists you might already know, but if not, hopefully we can reintroduce you to, not reintroduce. Hopefully we can introduce you to some artists, or if you haven't taken a listen at some of their albums or songs, maybe after this podcast you'll check them out and hopefully they help you on your journey. So we're going to talk about first some artists who have created certain masterpieces, whether that be an album or a song, that resonated, that we related to with grief and other personal things, and maybe you can. So the first artist we're gonna go into is more recent. I think that we all can feel this, hopefully, and that's Kendrick Lamar. He recently dropped the album Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers,
Yeah.
which they'll be here, I think, this week too. Yeah, but yeah, he dropped a really dope project that I personally didn't hear too much buzz about. Like it's one of those albums that either you get it and you resonate with it, or you don't, and you don't relate to it. But he really dove deep into grief, mental health things. To me, knowing Kendrick Lamar's art, I felt like the time that he was away, he really created this album to update you on what I guess his state of mind, and what he's been through, and just like his thoughts with his time going away. Some of my favorite, my two favorite was United in Grief, and I think it was Mother I Sober. That one made me emotional. But the United in Grief was like, I'm glad he put that earlier, like one of the first songs, because like he really put it out there that we all are united in grief in different ways. We all have our vices that we choose to grieve with, that the next person probably is also using. And I don't know, it just tied together. I think everybody that appreciated it and listened to it for what it was, they felt a part of it, felt a certain part.
So I mean, my favorite songs off there was like N95, and they talked about taking off certain masks and stuff. Actually, I know he mentioned a lot of Eckhart Tolle, the author of The Power now. But even in like take off certain masks, I was reading in the book, and it talked about wearing masks. Like I think, wearing masks to kind of help cope, or people feel safe around you, and different things like that. So I liked it at N95, and I don't know the title of the song, but it was a very toxic situation where they him and a girl was going back and forth. Yes, I felt like it was very creative. Yes. But talking about some of the
a lot of people related to that one too.
Yeah, like some of the internal battles you have that'll cause you to mess up a good thing, a good relationship, or start you thinking people. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things like guilt, trauma responses starting to pop up. So, from that was some crazy.
Yeah.
That was some crazy
album,
stuff.
Y'all check that album out, but it's really good on mental health.
Yeah.
I guarantee there's at least one song, if not two or three, that you can feel. Now, they may not be radio hits or whatever. Who really cares? But I think you can feel it when you listen to it.
Now, is there a certain genre that gets you, I guess, more in your feels, or
R&B? I think.
Does R&B heal you more? Is it like, because when it comes to R&B to me, and the R&B I listen to gets me in my, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me put on these shades.
You know,
it gets me into this type vibe.
Cool dude vibe.
All right, bro.
The cool boss, Husky Hefe, the cool boss. Okay.
It gets me into hello, welcome to the late night jams and smooth moves of none other than your boy Husky Hefe. But no, that's what R&B kind of gets me. But is it
R&B does, but you've been playing a lot of jazz lately, and jazz really gets me in my feels. And shout out to my cousin. She like put up something about coffee house jazz, and I was like, let me play it. I listen to rainy day coffee jazz or something like that. Something like that. And if I see any music suggested on my timeline or whatever, I'm like, let me try that. And when I tell you, it calms me so much. Whenever I'm feeling crazy or whatever, I'm like, jazz does something to me.
I can say in the process of healing through certain things, I feel like sometimes it's best to kind of go away from what am I trying to say? Go away from all those lyrics. Rap. Like rap don't do it for me, my boy. I grew up heavy rap, but as I've gotten older, I like a lot of jazz, little things more peaceful.
Now, I'll say that's dependent. If you're from an artist standpoint, you might resonate with rap more.
Yeah.
Because you put yourself in that place. But if you're really trying to like unwind and stuff, I think the jazz or something lighter, some Sade. He played Sade, something, and I was like, oh my god, I need to bump Sade.
The moon and the skies.
I never heard this song before.
Moon and
now I
the
play
skies.
it every morning while I'm in the shower, on my way to work. I'm like, I gotta play.
Sade came to me.
That's another artist, yo.
She came to me as a youngin. I remember being in Raleigh, in Memphis. Shout out to Memphis. Shout out to Raleigh.
Was not in Memphis.
But no. I'm trying to tell you where I discovered Sade.
Oh, okay.
Me and my cousin Corio, we was just messing around on the radio, and she was playing, and it was the Smooth Operator, but I definitely did not think she was saying operator.
What you thought she said?
Smooth operator.
What is an operator?
I thought she was trying to say like Argentina or something, but that's when I discovered Sade, and I was like, ooh, she's smooth, but yeah.
My mama rocked with Sade tough. So maybe that's why she's calming to me too, because I'm like, I can go back to like Sade and Kim, because that's all my mom used to play. So
yeah,
that is.
See, now when I bump that Kim, Kim.
Listen, this is another. Kim is another story for another time. That's some old player. Like,
when you want to chill, yeah. Hey, you know what's up. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. But we talking about music.
Anyway, let's put back in. So the next artist, we of course know Kendrick Lamar. The next artist, you can probably take more, because again, he vouches for the whole album. Again, I'm only a song person, so I have one, maybe two songs that I just randomly heard, and I'm like, I'm stuck with these two songs. I haven't even listened to the whole album. I'm sorry. I will, I promise I am. But that's Saba. Out of Chicago.
Out of Chi-Town. Chi-Town, stand up. West Side, Chicago.
But he had an album. First off, let's take it back to more personalized. About his, well, not his journey, but something he experienced, losing his cousin Walter.
Yeah.
I think it was something that affected him. So he pretty much wrote about it throughout his album. Was it Take Care?
Yeah, Take Care.
Take Care. Was it Take Care? Yeah, Take Care.
I think it was.
It was. I'll cross-reference.
Let me make sure. Let me go to the.
Yes, let's double check. But off that album, we randomly was watching a concert that he was performing, and that's how I kind of really came across Saba, and I'm like, I felt that. And I don't even know if mom had passed by then, I think, but it was one song, Busy and Sirens. Like, I love those songs. I'll play those songs on any given day, and he's so lyrical. Like, I'm not a big rap girl, but I will listen to some Saba.
Right.
I will. But that album, knowing the history and that he really locked himself in to create that masterpiece.
Care for Me.
I love it. Care for Me.
The name for that album is, she says, Take Care.
Drake flow,
look, she's on her Drake flow. Saba, if you watch this,
Saba,
I knew it was wrong, my boy.
I'm sorry, and I said it with confidence. At least I said it with confidence.
I knew it was wrong, my boy.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
But nevertheless, man, look, that Care for Me album was it was off the chain. It was like good. And like I said, I'm an album person. So I really, and when it comes to albums, for me to say an album is great or great or really good, is it has to tell a story. It has to encapsulate a story. And I felt like with that Care for Me album, it did exactly that. It told you about, growing up in Chicago and nobody, you know what I'm saying, just another black man shot and killed. So, you know what I'm saying, even in the first song was like Busy and Sirens. Sirens on the way. Hey, now in line where the angels lay. But he says, I'm young, I'm black, I'm gifted. I know one time want to kill me. They don't like me because but like certain instances of him being a black
story.
male, he put you in that story, and like even him saying like college was it was what it was. He got a B in a hip hop class and he thought that was crazy, but Walter was hooping and all this good stuff like that, but Walter ended up transferring, they got close and they was kicking it. Mom's like, where you been at? He like, Mom, I'm kicking it with Walter, but Walter helping him, get out of his shell to be, you know what I'm saying, the artist that he is now. And Walter got killed for a coat. He trying to cope. History, like,
You
so.
gotta really look at his lyric. He really put his story.
Yeah, so
How he
he
felt
was
in
that
the
was the
lyrics.
first album that even like she's more songy, but that's the first album that I was able to like, you know, kind of have her to listen to
and
and feel some of that, like somebody
Yeah.
who's that's his close cousin. This his cousin that
like a brother.
you know what I'm saying? They didn't even know that they stayed down the street from each other. Like
Yeah.
this how much the story is. Like I could go and like really
And I'm
paint
a
the
sucker
picture.
for a story. So when we're watching the performance of him performing, not only is he putting on a dope show, like
Yeah.
amazing performer and lyricist and artist, but he was telling me the story and about his cousin Walter, and I was like, I'm such a fan now. Like I'm a sucker for a story. Like pull
You know-
me in to make me feel.
You know, 90. I'm not 90s. You know, a lot of things in life is about the story, and
Yeah.
once the story happens, then people can understand you better. That's my whole thing right now. I do
background
have
story.
I know I'm probably going on a rant. I have a tidbit with artists. I don't mind the artists making their art. Do what you have to do, but the whole leaving it up for interpretation. No,
That's a pet
sometimes.
peeve.
Sometimes just tell them what you meant, because a lot of these kids aren't having the imagination taught to them in school. So use your imagination. They don't really get that. So sometimes they need it cut plain
need
and
a
dry
little help.
so they can find you as a fan, find you as an artist and be a fan, because they want to know like, oh, you going through this as well. Not all this, well, I got to search. They're not going searching because it's so many blocks in their face. Like, look at this.
Attention span short.
Yeah, so
Like they
it's
either
like,
feel it or they don't, but that backstory on why you made this art is gonna get that fan.
yeah, but
like me, we're fans.
coming back around,
Professional.
that Care for Me album, not Take Care. Shout out to
I'm
Drake.
so
That's my dog
sorry.
though.
Shout out to
Uh,
Drake. Saba, I love
but,
you. I'm sorry.
Nah, yeah, that's an album.
That's the album. I'm just for that. I'm gonna go and play the whole album and really sit and analyze it. Cause I anything he's recommended, I'm like I usually end up feeling. I just gotta listen to it for myself. That's all. But so moving forward, the next artist we're gonna go into is one of my favorites. It's Jhené Aiko. And I've actually been a fan of Jhené since like B2K days. Some people didn't discover Jhené until she put out The Worst. But real Jhené fans knew her when she was Lil Fizz's cousin, even though she wasn't really Lil Fizz's cousin. But one thing that I resonated with her that she happened, a transparency moment for her, is that she lost her brother to, I think, brain cancer, some type of cancer. Don't quote me on that. But she lost her brother, and it really affected her. And though I love Jhené, she had put out her album Trip. And I didn't really listen to it, even though I was a Jhené fan. I didn't listen to it for some reason. I don't know. Again, I guess I just didn't hear it and it didn't resonate with me. I don't know. But I randomly scrolled on YouTube and she made Trip the movie. And so, again, it had a story where she talked about, like, struggling with losing her brother and just, you know, getting high, having a trip and all these things she experienced. And then the song, again, it gave a backstory. So I'm like,
Right.
she sold the album because I'm like, oh my God. Now when I hear the album, I'm thinking about the movie. And I'm like, darn, like I feel her when she says certain things about, you know, losing her brother and trying to cope. So some of my favorite songs on there is Frequency and New Balance. But Jhené as a whole is one of those artists, you can hear her voice and vibe. And she makes healing music altogether, like with sound bowls and just the actual frequency of things that heal your body.
Now,
So,
I know with Jhené, my first kind of catching wind of Jhené was actually with Kendrick Lamar's Overly Dedicated. And it was the one song, Where Are We Going? Why Are We Slowing Down?
yeah.
You should be on. But she really, I'm trying to visualize something isn't right,
So
but my
glad her
brain
journey
is so
took
busy now.
Yeah.
And if I could
Okay.
leave this world and a little slower,
Okay.
then I would, and we would spin a little closer. I guess I'm getting closer.
Okay.
Where are we
Yeah.
But yeah, she bumped that joint, and it was. I did really like her vibe. Now, what was it an album? Sell Soul? Does that?
Selling out or something. Something
Yeah.
like well, she had two. I think one was it selling out, selling souls or selling out,
Selling
something
Soul or
like
something
that.
like that. Now I bumped that
Yeah,
project or whatever
yeah,
it was. It was really good.
yeah,
But she got that vibe. And like I like what you said, like she uses frequencies and stuff.
yeah.
Now that's a part of music that you don't think about, frequencies and vibration. That's why like I said no offense to my, rap hip hop artists, but sometimes I just can't listen because I need some frequencies that's higher, that's vibrating higher. Cause
But also to take it back a little bit,
mhm,
I agree with that. But for people that don't know, you probably have seen like people doing a little sound bowl, and you're like, what are
yeah,
they doing? So there's certain sounds and certain frequencies, like wavelengths, that heal the body, heal the nerves, calm the body. Like if you have anxiety, a lot of people do that to calm them, or they help with the breathing and stuff like that. So when we say Janae uses certain elements of healing instruments, she puts that in her music. So
yeah.
that's cool.
But I remember
I remember when.
I
I
remember
remember when
when
I
I
lost
lost
my
my
mind.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry.
there was something so special
Special
about
about
that
that place.
place. Even your emotions had an echo in so much
That's
space.
a deep song in itself. We're not gonna go there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hmm,
No way
hmm.
out there.
But anyway,
Okay.
without care,
Okay. Come on.
I'm gonna go now.
That's
Gnarls
an
Barkley.
episode in itself. But
But
whatever.
I remember I was working with youth, with kids and stuff, troubled youth, at a facility, and they used to have these sessions where the therapists would come in, and I'm talking about some of these kids was off the chain, but you'll have like a 30-minute listening to like some peaceful tones, and these kids who've been off the chain all day on edge and got will calm down. Like calm down. I mean like in 30 minutes, all of them about ready to go to sleep. And this is kids from ages, I'm gonna say I had the group from like 13 to 18. So, and these guys, so everybody's so tough.
Yeah.
But they will calm all the way down. So
Soft music.
yeah, just off music and the peaceful tone. So it's like it is healing in this thing we call music.
At a
Like,
deeper level than you can ever imagine.
can you even fathom the thought that we'll never listen to all the music ever made?
Oh
I
my
bet you never thought
gosh.
about it.
Oh my gosh, now I want to do it. No, you're right.
Like
You're
it's
right.
so many sounds. I remember the one time we was coming back from, I think, was it Gatlinburg, Knoxville, and we was just listening
Yes.
to like all these different
Random
genres. I
artists.
just found
Random
different genres
rock.
of anything rock. It was some guys from like and girls
Country.
from
Oh,
Japan
and
and
over in
stuff.
Japan, they was
And they were
bumping. I was
bumping. Like you don't know what I don't know
Japan?
what it's translating to, but I'm talking about
They was
soulful.
bumping. I wanted to darn near learn the language. I was like, okay.
So yeah, we'll never even know.
Music, I think, is one of the things. Music and food are two things that tie people together, and relatability. So I can cook a meal that maybe can heal you, or I can make a song that can heal you, calm your nerves, or whatever. So yeah. So moving forward, another artist that I love who's out of Memphis. Woo woo. Throw up your M's. Ooh, like that. How you throw it up? Anyway. But it's Yebba. Okay, her name is Yebba.
Yabba.
And I came across Yebba on YouTube, like I do a lot of artists. Her voice just, if you Google Yebba Smith, Yebba, and just listen to her sing, you'll understand what I'm saying about. The girl has a voice. She is a Caucasian lady, but she has, you can, so that's one thing I will say about older artists, like a Otis Redding or anybody from back of the day. Yeah.
That's my boy.
Sometimes when they sing, you can feel the soul, you can feel the hurt, you can feel the pain, or whatever they're going through at a deep level, you can feel it. And Yebba to me is one of those people that you just feel her emotions. So backstory for her with grief, Yebba's mother, and I tried to look it up on YouTube to verify the story, the specifics of the story, but I couldn't find anything. Like, I don't think Yebba does many interviews, especially about the loss of her mother, but I believe her mother committed suicide. And so that's something Yeba has struggled with. But when you hear Yeba sing, no matter what she sings, you feel it. Like I
Yeah.
always feel it like in here. I don't know, but so she wrote a song, I think about her mother, which is actually a new segment later on. You'll see. I'll go over the lyrics later. But it was, let me see. The name of the song was October Sky. She kind of briefly talked about things that reminded her of maybe the day, my interpretation, maybe the day that, she found out her mom, took her life. So just a deep artist. And again, her backstory, and also knowing she's from Tennessee and Memphis at that. Like, I just love Yeba and highly recommend you listen to her. Very healing voice, very healing artist to me.
I know she's take care of you. Is with that Drake.
Drake.
I
Is
think,
that how
but
you were
she
introduced
like
to Yeba?
no. I seen her on. I think you showed me on the
Oh,
Terrell
one
show
of
or
the-
something like that.
No, she wasn't on Terrell.
It wasn't on
yet.
Terrell.
But
Well,
it
you
was
wanted
a-
her.
It was a concert.
It was a something.
So far or something. If you Google Yeba, it's probably the first.
So
she
we
has
was
a
on our
microphone.
yeah.
It's probably one of them.
We was on our music kick one day and we was just watching all these people on like Terrell, and of course my wife is like, well, look at this, check out this person. So I think that was the first time I saw her going at it at like that little So Far or something like that. But I was like, yo, the soulfulness, now it's some, here's the thing. It's some, we're black. We're black and we know where the soul come from, but it's some white folks, Caucasian folks that get down.
Get down.
I'm
I'm
my
willing
boy
to
John.
bet my money on Yeba against Adele. I said it.
Oh,
I said Adele is dope. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying she's not, but Yeba, I'm willing to put up against. I'm willing to. When you talk about soul and feeling what she feeling when she's singing, Yeba for me hands down.
I know it was some white guys that I bumped. What's my boy Jameson? It's JMSN. He bumping.
Down to him.
The Tedeschi brothers.
The Teskey brothers.
Teskey brothers.
Yeah,
Today.
they do.
But hey,
Yay. They hard. I love them too.
man. And I saw. I gotta put my boy honorable mention. He was on the black guy, but he's not white. But he sung like a song called "A Whipping Post." He was on
Forgot his name.
And I'm tied to the
He
whipping
auditioned for something,
post.
didn't he? No,
And
it
he was
an
on
actual
He was
guy.
on American Idol.
Okay.
But
can't
but
say
anyway,
his
but
name,
my bad. He sung them white boys song.
Dang.
He sung them white boy song. But yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled or don't hold off thinking, oh, because they're this skin color. Like, no, music has no color.
Yeah.
Get out and find some good stuff.
So we recommended those albums and those songs, but what about artists that their voice just as a whole is healing to you? I said my list. I already told you Yeba. She's probably number one. I said Sampha. I know that's how I feel about Yeba is how he feels about Sampha.
So
Leon Bridges and then Mariba for me.
I got it. Yeah, Sampha is in there for me. No one knows me. He has a song. No one knows me like the piano and like the piano, but it goes. No one knows me like the pianos in my mother's home, and he just talks about learning how to play music and things of that nature. I was telling her the other day, and no one knows me like the computer that was in my mother's home, and she laughed, but
Tell him because I need a backstory.
So with this computer, this one computer was fairly new, and I had the luxury of having the home computer in my room. Nobody really messed with it besides my little sister May come in there play a game. My parents didn't care. I was burning CDs. I was on LimeWire, doing things. I had like a message pen pal.
Okay, so this is what I need back. He randomly mentioned this, and we specifically saved this conversation for this episode. What was this pen pal? What was this about?
Oh man, it was
Like jail pen pal?
No, not jail.
What was you doing on the internet back then? And why did this computer know you like this?
Man, look, the internet was a wild place, and I discovered that this place is wild. But it was like the beginning of like Yahoo messages and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it was just like little chat rooms you could go in. It was like, look,
Okay.
do not judge me. Kids or people do not go in chat rooms and just meet
Oh
random
my
people.
gosh.
But now I had a pen pal. She was from Wisconsin. She sent me a picture and everything.
What if she was like an old white man that just was like, yeah, I'm just
Well,
use
it
this
wasn't
picture.
getting intense like what you think. It wasn't getting no intense
just in the
besides
chat
like what's
rooms.
up. Yeah. And then like
gosh.
I mean we got laptops at like in 7th, 8th grade and we was just messaging. I remember I thought I was moving to Utah. But man, I'm
Why did
telling
you think you was moving to Utah?
we was gonna move to Utah. My
Oh, okay.
stepdad had lived in Utah before, but he was about to go take a position up in Utah, and
Mm-hmm.
if he would have took it, we would have been gone. But I guess him and moms talked about it like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
But
So you
I
met
would have.
another pen pal.
Nah. At that point, we had like Yahoo. I mean, just
Okay.
emails
It
between
evolved.
schools. So I'm telling all the girls at the time, like, yeah, I'm gonna be leaving for Utah, you know. So, moral of the story, nobody knows me like the computer in my mama's home
Computer child.
because I even made my first track.
Okay.
I was a signed artist, background
Okay.
music, Jutro,
Little Jutro.
Jutro, Jutro, man.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all will find out why I'm called Jutro, but
So you said Sanfa is an artist
Yeah.
that heals you,
yeah.
and who else?
Who else? I would have to say, who I got? Leon Bridges is cold blooded.
I want to recommend the song River specifically. Take me to,
To
the
the
river.
river.
I want to go.
Leon
Yeah,
Bridges,
that's my joint. Right
he's
there.
super good. I can't. Otis Redding.
That's healing for you. His voice, it's like it bring that pain out of you, and it's like
Remember me.
yeah.
Don't you forget me. Like, yeah, big old. I remember Otis Redding. I got on the Otis Redding because my stepdad, I was learning how to drive, and he was like, they had took the car back because of course I was scared. And he was like, if you figure out who this is, if you can tell me who this is, I'll give you $100. And my one thing about my stepdad, he not gonna lie, like he gonna mess with you, but I could not figure out it. But he let me hear him, and I was like, dang, it's bumping. So I never figured it out. So I didn't get that 100. But I took that CD and I just started to play it, and I'm like, yo, this dude is nice.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm more of a old school soul type person. So that's why I resonate with like that Leon Bridges. And I can say when it comes to if somebody's good, I want to hear you good without an instrumental. So if you just like piano play, cool, I can bump you. And if you can show out, that's all I want. Piano and your voice. And if you can do the Thug Thizzle, you can do the Thug Thizzle.
Yeah.
So
And also, I don't know if you heard my last person, but Mereba, it's Mereba. Her speaking voice, her singing voice, her writing style is just healing. I recommend. She has on one of her albums. I can see the cover. When we're recording, my mind goes blank. I apologize. I swear I know her music, but she has a poem that she recites on one of her albums called Dodging the Devil. That is like ASMR to me to like listen to her recite that poem, and it's a deep meaning. And then Stay True is also a song I recommend. Her voice on everything is healing, but check those out. I suggest.
So it's like this with music. How can I put it? With music is healing, right?
It's a tool for It's a
It's
tool
a-
for many things, but it can be used as a tool for healing.
But the wrong music can put you in the wrong headspace
It
as
can
well.
increase
So
your-
that's where it gets a little tricky, and you gotta watch the whole, lyrics thing, because you can have some lyrics where they're talking about their situation and you're resonating so much that you end up losing yourself and being like, well, I feel the same way, even though your story isn't all the way the same. Now you're starting to, because some people will say, like, I started to use drugs, like in the trip thing, but we not saying do that. I wouldn't recommend that for anybody. Like, don't go to that, but you got to watch it in a sense. That's why I say I tap into like that jazz or instrumentals, low instrumentals, lo-fi. Like that's a whole like
I think the biggest thing with healing, you have to heal from the inside out, and sometimes at a cellular level. When I earlier in the year when my anxiety was the worst, because I love music, I used to, now it's not the same. I had to rethink some things of how I travel to work and travel back. But I used to go to work and bump like Future or like that turned up like trap stuff just to hype in my mind to hype me up for work, get me prepared for work. And then coming home, I would do probably some trap, a mixture of some like calm down, whatever, because I'm like, oh, I'm going home. But when I was experiencing anxiety real bad, I just realized that I was getting more. Like one time I had to call him because I was like, am I finna pass out? I was like freaking out. But when I started looking at more things about how to heal myself, I realized that certain frequencies in music agitate your nervous system, which contributes to your mood, which contributes to, and I think even your subconscious mind. You don't understand when you're already in a bad mood or already sad what you're feeding your subconscious mind that controls everything. So I think it's important when you're going through grief or just trying to love yourself or just whatever it is, my bad, you're going through. I think it's important to, that was your sign right there. It's important to listen to like healing music, healing frequency type music like jazz, smooth jazz, or Sade or Yeba or Mariba or these artists like that.
Yeah.
So
man.
hopefully this podcast has
And
helped
also,
y'all
well,
to,
also I have to say, shout out to Saba yet again
oh,
because
I meant to spell his name too. Saba.
Saba.
That I do know.
But he actually, I was on Twitter and it was this person. His most recent album is called I don't know the name of it right now, but I'll put it in here. But his most recent album, he talks more on like making it and success and stuff. And somebody was like, "This is like my therapy," and he was like, "I appreciate that, but nah, still go and get therapy." I'm gonna put the little snippet in here. I'm gonna put it right here.
If you're on YouTube watching.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
also locally, if you're in Nashville, artists out of Nashville, our homie to the show, Quez
Yeah.
Cantrell, I think he does good with, putting his
Yeah,
art into.
but what Saba said, but like Saba said, like you can listen to my music and it can be, you know what I'm saying, you resonate with it, but still, if you don't put it off for, oh, this is a fix for therapy. Like sometimes,
sometimes
you really need to go and get answers and seek help.
and that could help you. Well, from an artist standpoint,
Yeah.
that could help the music, which then helps your fans
Right.
who are listening. And now you healing the world through your art. Boom.
Right. So
I think that's. The
I
point.
just had to put that little tidbit in there.
Yeah. So, now this is our first official episode back. So we changed up some of the segments. This is the last segment. Now every episode we're gonna end with a poem that either we wrote or just a poem we came across that probably resonated with the episode or the topic that we have. So the poem is really not a poem, it's a song, but when I was looking at the lyrics, I'm like, this is poetry. I'm going to share it with my audience.
That's what music is poetry.
Pretty much, it's one and the same. What is
Yeah.
it? Synonyms, the same. Antonyms are opposite. Synonyms are the same. Look,
Girl, come on.
synonyms. But anyway.
I'm going to put on
So,
my shades for this. Hold on, guys.
Go ahead, get your snaps ready, because my girl snapped. Y'all know I'm a Yaba fan. I said Yaba. I just fused them two. That's the sign that they need to work together. Yaba and Saba. Yeba and Saba, whatever. But so this is the lyrics to October Sky by Yeba Smith. Well, she slid down the hall in her socks and yelled, "Come outside." No, nothing's wrong. I just happened to have a surprise. So we fell through the door like the autumn leaves, and I wrestled my brother down to his knees just to watch her, just as her rocket shot into the October sky.
Just to watch as her rocket shot into the October.
What he said. There's a picture of us and a layer of dust on the mantle right by my cigarettes that I smoked since you left. 'Cause you said you had to fly in your October sky. Now I work in the city and I blend into the crowd, and the people grieve with me since the towers came down. You could cut the pollution with a butter knife. You could wake up at 2 and then party all night. But I'm missing my mama, so I stand on the street and get high. There's a picture of us hidden in the layer of dust on the mantle, right by my cigarettes that I smoked since you left. Because you said you had to fly in your October sky. And she said, oh, whoa, oh. And as I go back home to Memphis, I remember days that I was outside shooting rockets, almost as high. In your October, in your October, in your October sky. Also, she did a live acoustic version of this song so I could get the flow better of the song. Mm-hmm. Check that out on YouTube because reading or hearing the lyrics is one thing, but hearing her perform and sing it is another.
So, quick synopsis, what would you say? If I was the guest, I would say she has a picture of her just in remembrance. She started smoking cigarettes to kind of cope.
To my interpretation, I think, so this is my little bubble. When I listen to music, this is what I envision. I envision her writing this song from a standpoint of her thinking about a day, maybe the day she lost her mom, maybe the day after, trying to process how to cope with losing her mom. So in the October sky, maybe there was fireworks that night. Maybe, I don't know, like eventually it goes on with her being at work and like just observing people around her grieving. And I think it was just her observation, maybe after she lost her mom.
Now I work in the city and I blend into the crowd, and the people grieve with me since the towers came down.
Oh, I wonder, and this is why I was trying to find a timeline or to hear more in detail about it, but I don't think she's publicly talked about it. I wonder if she lost her mom around 9/11, because the tower, but she's from Memphis. But that's something that we
everybody started to grieve. So if it was around that time, she probably
even
did.
Though she was in Memphis.
Yeah, she probably did kind of feel that.
But this is why I think, because even if her mom died back then, Yeb was our age. So back then, if it was more present, she would have been a child. She wouldn't have worked in the city. So that's why I think that she is maybe thinking back, if that makes sense. Thinking back.
Or what if she's saying, now I work in the city and I blend into the crowd? It's like, what if she's working in New York now or doing things in New York?
Yeah, but did you used to work in New York?
But it says, but I'm missing my mama, so I stand on the street and get high. Yeah. That's like a negative coping.
Cigarettes, but that's her way of coping. Or maybe she did weed or whatever else.
But yeah, that's how it is. That's
why I said when you hear her sing, if you never heard her, hear her sing and you'll understand. Like, the girl got a story deeper than what she's showed to the world. But definitely one of those artists that has, like, you can feel their grief in her trying to heal in her music. So, and that's the purpose of this podcast. We just want, as we personally use music to heal ourselves, we want to give it to you. And so then maybe you can find the artists that resonate with you to help you get through whatever it is you're going through. Grief, sadness, self-hurt, balance, self-forgiveness, different things. So yeah. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. Thank you so much for watching I Lost My Podcast. We love y'all. G over and out. Anything you want to say?
Thank y'all for showing up and showing out. Also, make sure you donate to the I Lost My Podcast. And it's been real. This has been an episode one for the books. I may have lost my podcast, or I may have lost my headphones, but I found you. So make sure y'all go and check out her book. If you haven't purchased it, purchase it. Yes. It's available on Amazon. And yeah, that's it. So
try his cheesecakes if you're in Tennessee. It's coming, Husky Cheesecake.
Yeah. But we out of here. We
out.
We ain't gonna hold you.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.